So wishing everyone a very happy new year and welcome to the webinar on AI-powered procurement. Now in the AI-powered procurement, you must have seen the theme which I'm showing on the very first slide. The key objective or the theme is building intelligent. Some of you may be thinking what exactly is intelligent around here. So intelligent means we are looking at something in the past was very process-oriented procurement. Now from process-oriented, we are getting into intelligence where we get much more data before we decide. Then responsible part, the responsible procurement means we are moving into ethical part, we are taking care of the planet. So that means sustainability becomes very important to us. And the future-ready procurement means the changes which are happening. Whether you look from the customer side, whether you look from the supplier side, both are questionable sometimes. So disruptions are too many. To take care of disruption means we are talking of resilient procurement. So this is where we will try to cover up in the AI. So what I plan to cover up in this will be the what of AI, why we need AI, and how. How means I'll be talking about the roadmap to implement in your system. If somebody says, guys, I'm only at the ERP stage. I'm only at the digital stage. Now I want to move next step around. So we'll talk of the roadmap on that. Then lastly, I will have a small assignment for you guys. It will not take more than 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes, to assess your digital transformation maturity part. So that will be there one. And lastly would be the question and answers. And I hope I can cover up in 60 minutes. And question answers, I will leave it to you. How many you come up with the question, we'll be happy to answer those. So in one line, if I had to say what, why, and how of AI, that's what we are going to cover up. Okay, guys, setting the stage part now. Let me say, procurement has moved from typically manual systems beyond the manual and digital processes. Some people are still in the manual processes. Some have moved into the digital processes, into a phase where intelligence matters. Somebody will say, guys, I'm doing procurement. I'm doing intelligent work now also. No, it's a process oriented. You are given a step 1, step 2, step 3, and then you take action on it, take the approval accordingly. But in this one, you will have much more data. It is no longer a future concept. It's already shaping it. It's already there. For the last 1 or 2 years, it's already pitched in a big way in many companies. So that what we are going to look around how procurement teams analyze the data. Procurement has got a lot of data around. Even if you look in any company, 60 to 70% of the data of that company is nothing but procurement related. So procurement is a main hub. So procurement related data, how do we manage this? And how do we manage the risk in this one? Risk could be that supplier has closed down, supplier is not delivering it, or even if supplier is delivering on the way the shipment has stopped around, and how to make decisions around. Today, decisions are made on a very limited data what we have. But in futures, once we get into the AI, we are getting much more data. It makes us more, it boosts our intelligence. So in short, the decision which you make is much more meaningful. So in today's session, what I'm planning to cover is not about the automation part. Automation part is already pitched in. Even when ERP was there, we had some rules. Based on the rules, we had done some automation like 3-way matching and all those things around. But we are moving into much bigger. It's about how AI can strengthen human judgment. Because the human judgment which happens around, I'll show you some examples around where if I'm saying, guys, I want to give a contact to this supplier. I want to know the strength and weakness of the supplier. Very difficult to get. But now with the help of AI, we are able to capture the data. Even when I'm negotiating a supplier, I can find much more data. What should be the reasonable price around? So starting with the tools like ChatGPT or equivalent. So not that I'm only forcing on ChatGPT or anything equivalent around. and progressing step by step toward this. AI may support the decisions part, but accountability always remains with the human being. So one thing, again, one has to keep in mind, AI does not mean it's automating the whole thing. No. Ultimate responsibility remains with you. So that responsibility is not going away. On the contrary, it requires much more focus now when we come to the topic around where you need to focus much more. So that, again, process is being automated to some extent, but responsibility is yours. So then where your role comes into that, we'll touch on that part also. So before I go further, let me get small, quick data on this one around which best describe where your organization is today. Number one, are you still in the manual process? Are you in the ERP process? Are you in the e-procurement process? Are you in the AI-assisted procurement? Exploring AI agent and agentic. Can you please, I can see people have started writing, yeah. So I could see that the people are spread over 4 areas around. Manual still dominates. Second come the ERP, which I expect most of you by now have ERP around. The third is the e-procurement. Fourth, AI-assisted procurement with ChatGPT and all those things around. Great to know that you guys have started using these activities. And lastly is exploring on AI agents and agentic. So literally I could see all of you are involved in one or another activity, but the dominate is still manual and ERP. I think e-procurement is also moving well. Okay, guys, with this, I will not spend more time, but we got the very good trend of it. So this will help me basically to focus on those areas where you need more. Okay, guys, let's move to the next one then. Evolution of procurement. This is basically depicting the poll question around transactional. Very typical transactional steps are there. From transactional, you are moved into strategic. Strategic has been also for many years around. It was in 1983 when Mr. Peter Krasik, who wrote down a nice article on this. He was a professor from Harvard. He said, how can each procurement be same? Some procurement has got much bigger risk. Some have got a less risk. Some have got a big money involved into this. Some have got less money involved into this. Some gives you more profitability. One gives you less profitability. Under that situation, how we could have same procedure for all? So this is where the concept of strategic came around. And that strategic is becoming more and more smarter with the help of digital and AI, but strategic has been there. Next thing came the digital part. We want data. I remember the time when I was the chairperson for the AI, I'm a chairperson for the UN complete procurement around. We had 166 offices around, collecting data, analyzing it, very difficult task. So we went into the digital part. So digital part also I'll try to explain around. Now from digital, once I get the data, we moved into AI power. And the purpose of all this is speed of disruption. Over the time, everybody is progressing further. Everybody is moving faster. So we need speed of disruptions is gone up. Complexity of decision has become difficult. So risk and ESG has come around. So ESG means environments, again, social and governance parameters. So those sustainability parameters are also there. So procurement makes, so in that sense around automation makes procurement faster and AI makes procurement smarter. So this is how we're trying to move in. So this is the way I was explaining in my presentation. The strategic procurement came in 80s. But over the time, it has been progressing. So strategic procurement, if I say in one line, then we are talking of sourcing to contracting as one activity is around, and P2P as another activity is around. So we divide the whole procurement into two parts. And that activity has progressed over the years. In the past, the data was very less. We used to get the manual data. Now we get automate data, and then I still use strategic. Then the next phase came of e-procurement. So in strategic procurement, then we moved into the ERP. Then after ERP, then people started using around ERFX, electronic bidding documents around, e-auction, spend cubes, e-contract management, e-catalogs. All those things started coming into the E word around. Then the next thing came around was the digital procurement. So we got into the E, and with the E, what happened was that we could move into digital because we have the data now. We could do analytics much better. And these are all linked with, if I say, with Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 we are still today, and now the 5 is also emerging. So when I talk of 2, when the electricity came, it was the mass production. Then came the automation. In the case of Industrial Revolution 3, it went on till 69, 70, and automation still is going on in many activities around. But these automations are rule-based. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. Then we have come to the Industry 4, where we are all connected through cyber system. So we are all connected. Whether we are the machines, human beings, all are connected. Sitting at home, you can check what is happening in your system. So this all activities, when they came around, Industrial Revolution 4, 3D printing, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, so they became the part of this. Now we have got Industry 5. So I'll be explaining a little bit on that also. So the game started from MRP, Material Requirement Planning, and this goes back to 1970. And I had a chance to work on this system also when I was working with Tatas in India. So when I moved to the US, then I think I had a chance again to work on ERP. I implemented ERP in 2004 in all my country offices around. And now ERP was a wonderful tool when I was leading it. Then I thought, what I'm going to get out of it after 4 or 5 years. Then I saw ERP is given a beautiful system for purchase requisition, purchase order, and payments. But between purchase requisition and the purchase order, the gap was there. Similarly, between purchase order and the payments, again, they were like a silos. So the concept came around that we need to connect end to end. We need to integrate end to end from one side requisition, other side payments. All should be integrated. And that for integration, the concept of e-procurement came. So the e-procurement is now still progressing in a big way. I can see many companies, they've already moved much ahead on e-procurement. But the e-procurement means that you have a data. Now from there, we can move into digital procurement. So with that data, I can analyze much better. So digital procurement means I'm using all the technology of Industrial Revolution 4, including AI. So AI in this one is more of a Gen AI. You can use ChatGPT, you can use others, you can use Gen AI. So you could have many tools available of AI as well and digital tools as well. But now the next one, which has come up in the last 1 year, agentic procurement. And this is also picking in a big way. Agentic means it is becoming little automation, you can say. But it also brings more responsibility on the human being. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible. It gives you the processes. It can work very nicely, but responsibility is yours. So that means your control is also required at many steps. So this is where we are calling around procurement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 5, when I say, it is the smartest procurement. So this is where we say procurement one, totally manual. If I go back 60, 70 years, paper was there. You make a purchase order on a paper, send things. So this was a purely manual system. Then we came with the ERP, where the processes were automated of particularly requisition, purchase order, and payment. But then we came with the procurement 3, which becomes the e-procurement. So this one was the purpose was to integrate end to end. Instead of 3 silos around, we wanted integration from requisition till payment. Then came procurement 4. Now here we're talking about digital transformation. So in short, the data was there, but now we're trying to convert all this thing into a digital data and take a meaning out of it. And based on the meaning, you could analyze the data. Otherwise, data is a garbage. So data need to be also analyzed. Based on analyze, you do some insights. And that's what we talk around the transformation. So AI was, Gen AI was also part of it. But now we have come to next level, which is agentic AI. So this is how the progress has happened around. If I say summary of activities, strategic procurement sets the direction. E-procurements automates transactions. So when I go with the e-procurement, electronic procurement, I could have electronic RFX, RFP, RFQ. I could have negotiation, electronic, e-negotiation, e-reverse auction, I could do it around. All those things are helping me to automate. I know some of you must be doing it. Reverse auction, you've got 5 suppliers, you fix up the system, and then you go away and have a lunch, and by the time you come back, you know what is the price whom to give the contract. So digital procurement brings intelligence. So digital means I'm moving from this data which I got from e-procurement, I'm analyzing it, and based on the analytics, we're trying to come with intelligence. So giving you much more data information around. Suppose if I have selected 5 suppliers, but now with digital part, I can give you the information about every supplier, the strength of each supplier, the weakness of each supplier. If I go with this supplier, what is the financially wise this company is good or bad? All that thing I can find out. So it gives you more intelligence. Next thing comes agentic AI, which brings autonomy. Autonomy doesn't mean that this takes over your job. No. It, on the contrary, become more human-centric because you are accountable. AI cannot be accountable for something wrong. AI is just, okay, I have developed the system, but your controls are very important around. And those controls we can talk about when I come to this. So digital procurement brings intelligence by integrating the data across the system. System covers many issues around. It might be covering spend analysis. It might be covering contract management. It might be covering supplier relationship management across the system. It generates analytics. It does the analytics around and generates real-time predictive insights-driven decisions. So when we talk about AI for procurement, we are not talking about the robots buying on our behalf. No, not the least. On the contrary, we need more smarter people. Because it's not a routine function now. So since it's not a routine function, you need much more strategic people. So procurement in the good old days was talked about as a support function. Now it becomes much more relevant around, much more meaningful, much more strategic. And value-wise, you all know very well, any company you work in, any organization you work, or even in the public sector, is a big money. Public sector also, if I talk of governments, around 20% of the GDP goes into the procurement. Any company you look around, 50%, 60%, depending on the sector, is spent through procurement. So procurement is a very important area around. So AI, when we talk of it, means using data. Without data, AI can't work. Data is a fuel for AI. So without data, data is like an oxygen for AI. So algorithms are required. The formulas are required. And learning system to support better procurement decisions around. In procurement terms, if I say around, you see patterns human miss. The trend, if you want to study around, you get the trends very quickly with the help of AI. Predicts the risk also around. Sometimes you might have given a contract and the delivery is not happening. You're following with one supplier, but the supplier is depending on tier 2 supplier. The raw material is not coming, which you don't know it, but then AI can help you. Don't deal with this supplier. You have a problem here. So predict risk before they materialize. Compare options more objectively. Reduce the manual analysis approach. Improve the decision making. Again, if I say one line, AI is a tool. It's not a clean sheet. It's not going to take away your existing system. ERP will remain. Your existing operations will remain as it is. It's just a tool to make it smarter and give you better decisions around. So here, keeping in mind, I'll not go into too much of detail on this. Strategic procurement, e-procurement, digital procurement, which includes generic AI, Gen AI, and the last one, which is the recent one, agentic AI. So what is digital foundation now? Now, this is a very key foundation because without this, AI cannot work. The digital foundation means from ERP, you went to e-procurement. Now from e-procurement, you're creating the data around. So it's not optional for AI. It is a price of entry. So when we talk of digital foundation, we are not talking about buying one more software tool. No. So we have already got the data, but now we're trying to analyze the data. We are talking about whether the procurement has a structured, reliable, integrated digital backbone. So do we have the digital backbone for this to run? Like a human being, we have our backbone, but all the information, whether we have got all the 5 senses, whether we have eyes, whether we have listening, all the data goes through that. So similarly, here also we need a digital backbone. I'll show you how the backbone will look like. Once digital foundations are in place, AI can move procurement from visibility to prediction. So you have visibility, you have the data, but then this can give you the prediction part around. So this foundation will include ERP, certainly. So AI is not taking away this. ERP will remain, e-procurement will remain, source to contract will remain, P2P will remain as it is. Clean the master data. Cleaning is a must. If data is in a lot of things are not clean, wrong information is there, wrong supplier name is there, wrong product name is there, one needs to clean it up. Historical spend, contract, and supplier performance data. AI can only learn from the procurement has already digitized. So if it is already not digitized, AI can't do anything. So digital foundation becomes very, very important to us. So why AI fails without digital foundations? The key thing is spend data are scattered across various systems. Inconsistent names and codes. The one example, which again I want to repeat, I was dealing around more than 50,000 items from 166 country offices around. And each one was writing the same item with different description. So when I want to compile my data, it used to take months and months to do it. And that's the time I developed a coding system around. So coding system helped me to get uniform system. So across the whole world, 166 offices around, I trained people around how to do the coding of the goods, taxonomy part.
Eka, you're there, but this meeting is being live streamed.
Okay, could you please mute for the time being? I'll give some time for the question answers later, yeah. So procurement data comes into two forms: structured data, unstructured data. Structured mean like spend by categories, purchase orders, invoice data, supplier master records. But then there are other ones like emails, RFQs, specification, audit report, they are unstructured. So we need, when you're trying to make analytics around, you are able to check structured data as well as this data. And sometimes you can also get, this is all your own data, but then you can get outside market data also. You're buying X item, let's say copper, or you're buying plastic, you're buying oil, you're buying whatever item. You have your own trends within the country, but what is happening? So digital maturity determines how much of the data can actually use. So the key pillars, if I say, of the digital foundation systems, as I said to you, that means digital foundation is important to us. The first thing is the taxonomy. So standard taxonomy, which is given by the United Nations, UN SPSC, standard products, standard classification, spend data, digital workflows, integration layers, like ERP is there, e-procurement is there, SRM, supplier relationship management, contract management, inventories, and finance. I'm sure most of you by now know it. All of them are in silos now. We want to connect all of them together so that we have the common data. The same supplier I'm doing with the e-procurement, same supplier I might be dealing with relationship management, same supplier I might be dealing on the contract management. And then for payment purpose, again, I might be dealing with the same supplier. So there is a lot of commonalities around. So we need to integrate the layers in. So once we have the data, I can do analytics, then AI and automation layer around. One word I just thought of clarifying again on this. The word is very mistaken sometimes, digitization versus digitalization. Digitization means you're converting your existing data from hard copy. You scan it through the scanner and convert them into digital. Digitalization means it is digital by birth. So the purchase order which is coming through ERP is digital. But if you're making a purchase order on a typewriter or somewhere else, and then scanning it, that is digitization. So digitalization means it is by nature digital in the whole process. So I'm sure in most of the places nowadays, people are moving into digitalization in one way. I mean, purchase orders are digital, invoices are digital, except the goods receipt note which come from many companies, which might be hard copy form. So which you need to do is to digitize. Now the transformation part, if I say around, we are maturing every year, but relationship with stakeholders are still stuck in the past. People don't regard procurement as a true partners around. We still are seen as a tactical function. So from tactical function, we want to make a journey towards strategic part. Now, why digital come first? In today's digital is the new foundation. So before AI can automate, predict, or advise, your ecosystem must be digital, connected, and data ready. You must have seen even simple thing what you guys have done in ERP. You got a PO which is generated by the ERP. You can pull the data anytime. You can say, how many purchase orders we have raised? Within 5 minutes, the whole information will come to you. While in the past, when we were doing manually, very difficult task, cumbersome task. Now, this is how the procurement ecosystem will look like. You can see here, I've got the data at the bottom. Then I've got supplier management system, supplier portals. I've got supplier information is here. Then I've got a sourcing and contracting, e-tendering, e-auctions, technicals. Then we got procurement P2P. Then we have ERP. ERP is a backbone. So still I would call ERP, which you have, is a backbone. All information flows from this. And then we do the analytics part. So analytics are what? I do the spend analysis, where the money is going, how it is being spent. Then we have the dashboards, we got a predictive insights, AI agents, spend, all the things are there around. So this is where we call as digital procurement ecosystem. So ERP gives the structure. So ERP is the backbone. So I'm trying to give example from the human life. So we have the backbone. E-procurement executes a work. SRM is nothing like a heartbeat. It covers the supplier health-wise. Is supplier doing a good job, bad job, whatever you want to say around performance-wise. Supplier portals enable communication. Catalog buying is a reflex system. So this is how we can say around digital procurement ecosystem is important around. Some activities you've already done. Many of source to pay, source to contract activities are separate, and P2P activities are separate. So source to contract, what they are doing around is, if you can see in this one, they are creating first thing the sourcing part. They make the long-term agreements. They make the framework agreements. They do the supplier management. They do the contract management, catalog management, and then pass on the list of suppliers to purchase to pay. So these people are working in a very strategic way for the long term. And these people are doing only when the actual requirement comes, they use it. So source to contract, the money is not flowing, but in the P2P, you're placing an order, but they don't have to do sourcing much. They can pick the supplier name from there. So this is how the game works on e-procurement. Now these data come in a big form. So when we get into the digital concept, the data becomes too big. This data is too big in terms of volumes, velocity, and variety. So that is why we call them the big data. And time is not far when procurement also will need a support system from the clouds. Because your data cannot be captured by your normal system. So in normal system, what you are having around is, okay, ERP is covering your requisitions, POs, and all those things. But other informations, you are still in your own laptop or in your own desktop. So that means in the past, in the future, when every information goes to the clouds or data banks around, you can access anywhere, depending on whether you got access rights or not. If you got the access rights, you can pull the data around. So this is how we were saying around the big data to wisdom. So you have the big data. Data is a data, yes, but data I can't do much until there's intelligent part. Somebody analyzes the data, then gives me the information, Krishan, there's so many suppliers we have used it. So many suppliers are failing in your duty around. Some suppliers are not doing a good job. So information comes in, and that becomes my knowledge. So that knowledge is the one which is important for us. And that's what we come to the foresight part, which is the wisdom part. So from data, we do the intelligent part. We try to compare the data. Then we have information. So analytics are done. And based on analytics, we develop information. And based on information, we get a knowledge around, okay, guys, this supplier is not reliable. He has failed 10 times. Deliveries have been delayed. Prices have gone up. So you get that knowledge only through this process. And once we've done this, and this is where AI helps us. AI is able to bridge the gap between the data. So AI will do the intelligent part, the analytics part. Then AI will do the information and gives you the knowledge. So AI is bridging complete information from data to the wisdom. The next thing come again, the taxonomy part. Let's say I'm taking a simple example of a laptop Dell. One guy is writing down laptop Dell, place the order. Another guy in the same organization is calling a Dell laptop 14-inch. The third one is writing like notebook computers Dell. So when you're doing the data comparisons, all of them are different. And you and me know very well, actually, they're all same, but computer doesn't understand. Computer is a dumb. Even AI could be dumb because for them, it is all different description. Even if I change the spelling around, the computer will not recognize them as same. So this is where we need a taxonomy. Taxonomy means properly classified goods and services. So if I call this way, like this is the number I've taken again from UNSPSC. So now procurement can easily consolidate volume, negotiate better, track total category spend. So this is how the beauty of taxonomy, which we could call, procurement codifications, you can say. And this is on this basis, we have the same thing which I'm trying to show you. So you have the very basic data here. From basic data, I'm trying to do the analytics, descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics. And then once I do the data, I get my intelligence there. So the pyramid which I showed you, the triangle which I showed you, from data to up. So all is done through the help of AI. But this one you are creating yourself. AI is not creating the data. The data are being covered by the digital system. So without digital system, AI can't do anything. So the 5 stages, if I say of digital procurement roadmap, first thing is digitize. Second is integrate. Then we move into automate part. Then we say, okay, guys, we'll predict and transform them. That's where we go. So what AI can do and what not, I will say AI is not here to replace us. It is here to amplify us. It is here to boost our intelligence. We have human intelligence, no second thought. But our intelligence limit at some place. Because we don't have much more data from outside. While this AI can pick up the data from everyone's company and give you much more detailed data. So it boosts our intelligence in that sense. So if we look at the various type of AI concepts which are there, very first one, automation part, auto create the POs after approvals, which we have been doing all the time. I think those who are doing ERP, it is auto create the POs around. Then came AI. So AI thinks like humans. The basic reasoning, reads, suppose. Then machine learning came around, then general AI came, chat GPT came. So chat GPT are equivalent, others are also there, like Copilot from Microsoft, Gemini from Google. So we have equivalent one, again, conversational Gen AI. They're also Gen AI only for conversational purpose. You can ask question, can you give me the list of suppliers? It'll find for you. I want to negotiate a supplier with supplier. Can you give me what should I do? Even this will give you the languages also what you should write to the supplier. Then we come to the AI agents. They help us. Agents work for each activity. One will work on, let's say, supplier relationship management. One will work on spend part. One will work on evaluating the suppliers around. All those are agents. And then agentic AI is nothing but the combination of all AI agents and give you the answers around. So this is the broadly I would call around 2 areas. Assistive one. You could use Gen AI, or I'm calling about ChatGPT, and other ones around what they do and what this one will do. And this is still emerging. Many companies have already moved much ahead on this. This one, AI drafts a contract and you refine it. Today, if I tell you, can you make an RFQ for me? You will spend time, you will collect the old data, but with the help of this, it can give you the draft RFQ fully written down, and then you can send it as it is. And then when the feedback comes, you can evaluate, AI can evaluate for you. So this is where it is going to help us in moving our productivity much faster. And the last one, which I'm talking of, the one which is coming, intelligent procurement part emerging. It is covering much more activities, but the human roles are there and everywhere. So you will be controlling it, because at the end of the day, you are accountable for this. So that's what role comes in that fashion. AI application across procurement cycle, if I say around broadly, the very first one comes the spend part. The game starts from spend. Analyze the spend data, identify the top suppliers. Then we come to the supplier market search. Okay, now I got to spend around who are the other suppliers in the world from where I can buy. Very nicely it does around. You say, guys, can I get some 10 more suppliers from Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America? It will find for you. And give you even the background of the supplier also. Strength and weakness of the supplier. Sourcing part, I want to do request for quotation. I want to do request for proposal. Normally, I've seen people spend 3 to 4 days to make RFQ, RFP. But now, with the help of this, you can get it done much faster. So in short, your productivity will go up. I mean, it will boost your intelligence other way around. So negotiation. Supplier says, guys, I'm not agreeing with this price. But then you can find a good argument for it, how to negotiate. So this will give you the right arguments around what to argue. The AI has got information of everybody's, all the company in that product around. It can crawl into everybody's database. It can crawl into everyone's website. It can pull the information. AI can go into medias, it can go into the social system, it can pull the information around and give you much more data. So that is why I'm saying it boosts your intelligence around. Supplier evaluation. You are trying to do evaluating the supplier now. Or contract management, by what has happened to the contract? It was supposed to be done within 1 year, but it has taken now more than a year. What have been the reasons? All that thing. And the clauses also, when you're drafting a contract, it can help you to review the clauses. Suppose you made a contract, the clauses are there, you're not happy. This can help you. Broadly, if I say AI in procurement, efficiencies, benefits. Efficiencies certainly, because I'm using it in my own activities around, it helps you a lot. Certainly 3 to 4 times your productivity will go up. Better decision making, scalability part, cost reduction, and risk mitigation part. So risk part is certainly the major benefit around. It will tell you in advance that this supplier is having a trouble now, so take some action. I'm just taking one example here, so to give you a flavor of this one. Let's say I take the spend part. The game starts from the spend. That's the eyesight of the whole procurement. Where's the money going? What are we buying? Who are we buying from? At what price? It converts the raw transaction into intelligence signals around. So I'll show you a few more. To enable the team to perform end-to-end spend using this one, what is the spend and why it matters? What are we doing is data collection, cleaning of the data, classification of the data, analyzing the data, insights, what goes behind it. And then we have common challenge in all of them is the data silos. Supplier naming, as I said to you, of the laptop, namings are different. Category mismatch. So those errors, if it's again garbage in, garbage out, let me make it very clear. So data need to be clean. So you need to have a very good taxonomy around. So I've shown you once here slide, which gives me the data, very sample data. It's a very small data. I know the data may be getting into 40, 50 pages. Like in my case, when I talk about 166 offices around, it used to be 1,000 pages around. So I get the data around, but then category may be wrong, spelling may be wrong, suppliers may be wrong. Same supplier might be appearing 10 times because the spelling error is there around. So this is how this example is there around. I'm sure all of you must be having some access to either ChatGPT or Gemini or other ones around the big names. So this one helps you like a demo prompt. If I say, clean this spend data, I upload the data. And if you feel that your data should remain very secretive, no worries. But then you don't have to tell the name of your companies around. Take a spreadsheet, and then it'll look at the data, even if it is 10 pages, 20 pages, 30 pages, it'll clean the data for you. It highlights you. The same name is appearing. It looks like a wrong one. Correct spelling errors. It shows you total spend by categories also. Suppose within your organization, you are saying, guys, this guy looks after services. This guy looks after buying of raw materials. This guy looks after this. You can do the spend by category also. So the demo prompt means all of these cases, ChatGPT or Gemini, whichever, you need a prompt. And in the prompt, you will write down what exactly you want. And then it'll do for you. In this one, I would advise everybody should start using it to improve your skill and knowledge on this. So suppose you wanted the data cleaning. So you upload an example of ChatGPT because I'm more relevant, used to it. Give prompts such as identify and merge duplicate supplier name. It'll do it for you. Just one line prompt, it'll do for you. You say, guys, I want to convert all my spend, which is in dollar, into my, let's say, Indian rupees I mentioned around, and the conversion rate I give it. It'll do it immediately for you. Remove the missing values. So this is how this can help you. Spend analysis. Okay, guys, and the supplier risk prediction, monitoring, that also you can do it around with the help of this. You want a request for quotation, you want RFPs around. AI does not select supplier, but it helps you to compare them more intelligently. It is not selecting the supplier. It is only giving you a list of suppliers. Then you'll say, guys, can we compare in a tabular form? It will do for you. And you want to see the price trends and what should it cost. You're buying some items around. What should be the cost of it? It can do the calculations for you also. In a contract management, it can analyze documents, it can automate tasks, it can change the key clauses around, it can help you those as well. Now coming back to agentic AI, which is the last in the AI, which is in the process now. Traditional AI is analyzing and recommends. The one I was showing you so far. It analyzes, recommends. But agentic AI goes one step further. So you can think of this one as a junior executive assistant or a smart worker. You tell the information, this will do it. But again, responsibility is yours.
Mo fẹ́ ra fìlà fún Àyìndé mo sọ fún yín.
Okay, what activities can be covered by agentic AI? Now, AI can cover all
Tó
of
gba
these.
ṣe tí tó fẹ́ kó lọ fún Nàìjíríà.
So it can
Àwọn
cover
fẹ́ tẹ̀lé fún lọ.
procurement spend, it can cover
Ẹ kí
sourcing. Okay, guys, the agentic AI works on AI agents. So each activity you will have agents. Spend analysis, I have an agent. Contract management, I have an AI agent. Supplier relationship management, I have an AI agent. So if I combine all the agents together, it become agentic. So this is where it goes. And now coming back to the roadmap part to implement AI in procurement. So I've given concept of
ẹ mọ nǹkan tó ti nílẹ̀ yìí. Gbogbo wọn ti ní business ni.
so
Tani.
I've given you the roadmap for the AI. What is AI? Why do we need it and how? Now the how part I'm trying to explain you around. Very first thing is you need a clean data. Digitize it. Integrate them. Not that they are in silos. I have a data here, I have a data here. They all have to be connected, integrated into the system, like a nervous system. So like a nervous system, they should be all connected. Then I will do is automate the repetitive task, and then predict it. And lastly would be the transformation part. So the stage one, if I say how to do it, very beginning, foundation stage. If any one of you is trying to get into this, very first step would be to clean the data. And to clean the data, you can have your own taxonomies. If you want, you can have UNSPSC, which is also available and doesn't cost you much. And this is again from the United Nations. You can tap this one. Again, digitize. So this one, ChatGPT with the latest version is 5.2 now. We all call them LLM, basically, large language model. So this advantage would be that you build the skill of your people. Any new system you want to bring around first. People is the first thing. People, process, and technology. So people also are very important to us. So they have to understand whether this is worth doing it, AI. And they should also get a comfort level. Yes, by going into AI, our quality of work will improve. So that means they have to get idea about ChatGPT or whichever you have. I'm not saying that you have to go. I mentioned ChatGPT here because I'm using ChatGPT. So you can mention ChatGPT or equivalent anyone. It could be Gemini, it could be Copilots. So in the process, people will get used to it. Then the next step would be digitization. In the digitization, if you are not done e-procurement system still, I think that's the area where you have to start working on. So digitization, e-procurement could be e-contract management. It could be again e-sourcing around. So it could be anything of e-reverse auctions. All those activities slowly should be connected. Then come the semi-agentic part. So we could also have this one. And if you feel I want to go in one step further, you can use Gen AI. So then Gen AI and ChatGPT, the difference is Gen AI, I can connect with my system. This one is working independently now. But Gen AI, I can connect with my system through enterprise system. So once I get enterprise software, I can connect with OpenAI. I can go through the OpenAI, the one who developed the ChatGPT, or I can go to the Microsoft. They have their own. So each one has got their own. Otherwise, I can have semi-agentic and then the fully agentic. This one is nothing but the combination of all agentic activities around here. Now, the success factors, if I say of any AI implementation starts with the people. Their skills are very important around, their mindset. And for this is where I was telling you, go to the first step, get any of the one Gen AI type or LLM, which can help you to build the skill of the people. If any complex activities come to you, say, guys, can you help me to make an RFQ? Can you help me to find suppliers? So that becomes your assistant, actually. So you get a beautiful, lovely, intelligent assistant around to do work for you. So start with people, build strong data foundations. Now for data foundation, you certainly need to integrate end-to-end. End-to-end, simple ERP will not help you. ERP is not integrating everything. ERP is creating 3 pillars: purchase requisition, purchase order, and payments. In between, everything is missing. And if you are the boss, you want to know, guys, what is happening to this supplier? How is our performance relationship going around? So you will not get until you build the data foundation. Introduce AI gradually. And then the next thing comes around is embed governance early. If you're getting into automation doesn't mean that your responsibility is gone. No, on the contrary, your responsibility becomes much more. So you need a good governance system in the system. Keep humans accountable. So if you could say in a small way, if I say smartest, again, AI journey in procurement starts with ChatGPT, or equivalent for learning. So let people learn it. Build strong data foundation. And then mature into agentic AI. The last step should be agentic AI. Always under human control. Don't jump into agentic AI without digital. It can't work, it will fail. Now here comes the last one. I just said to you, I want to assess your digital transformation maturity level. So here's a evaluation tool to gauge your procurement efficiency, digital adoption, and strategic impact in the modern business landscape. So now how to assess it, I'll show you just now. What it measures, first let me give you some idea. The digital transformation maturity assessment evaluates your key areas, including automation, data analytics, AI integration, which I've been talking around, the integrating the whole thing, and supplier collaboration. So it measures that. Why it matters? It can determine the current maturity level of your digital transformation. Now, so what purpose of the assessment? This is part of the assessment. So I'll give the link to you just now, and this will take you hardly 3 minutes. Evaluate digital adoption. Identify the gaps. Drive transformation. Now, it helps you to transition from manual process to AI-driven. Enhance the efficiencies around. And this is where instructions comes. There will be questions. There will be statements per question. So evaluate the 2 statements per question on a scale of 1 to 5. So you can give for each statement scoring. 5 mean the highest one, 1 mean the lowest one. So whatever is your current status around, so you will be finding, evaluate the 2 statements per question on there are many questions around. Each question has got 2 statements. So please score them up, either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5. You can go from 1 to 5. It could be 1, could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And calculate your score. So you will have to calculate your score. The system will do it also for you. So this is where the score comes around. If score is 10 to 20, so you are at the very basic level of procurement. If score is between 21 to 30, you are developing operational procurement. So you are in the operation side. Some automation and strategy in place, but AI and analytics are underutilized. So that means you're not using AI at all. 31 to 40 means you come to the strategic procurement, advanced, strong supplier management, automation, and digital tools in place. AI adoption is growing. And the last one is world-class AI-driven procurement, fully integrated, AI, blockchain, automation, data-driven. So these are the score you will see soon. So now I go to the straight for you to scan it now. Scan the assessment test. Can you guys do it? Scan the QR code here. And give the scoring for each statement from 1 to 5. Everybody able to get? If not, put it on the chat box. I think my colleague Shubham can help you then. Just scan the QR code. And each question will have statements, 2 statements. You have to score each statement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it working, guys, for everyone?
Yeah, it's in process. Working.
Okay, good. Anyone who has done?
Yes, sir, many people done the test.
Okay, everyone done? Shubham done?
5 people are done, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody want to share their information, or should I move further then? Can I skip the page now?
People are doing, sir. We can wait for 2 minutes.
Okay, good.
Till now, highest number is 47.
Okay, good. 47 people are done. That's great. The score is 47.
Yes, sir. Till now, highest number is 47.
Okay.
Yeah. Twenty people are done in the test.
Okay, good. Okay, friends, I think that should be good enough. So let's move on to the next one. If I want to, I mean, from my side is done, but if you have any, now, let me summarize this whole story around.
It's good.
Or you want to go back? Okay, in case someone is missed, they can always get back again with Shubham and try to get access again. So here again, I'm trying to compare up artificial intelligence with human intelligence because this is a broad definition. Everybody has a problem. So human intelligence means we are certainly strong on creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, empathy, and judgment, which computers, AI cannot do it. Let's be very careful. AI can only do is much smarter with data analysis. If I got 10,000 transactions around, you and me will take few days to do it. Computers can do much faster because they work on a particular rule and then they do it. And those algorithms which you have designed is developed by you people, by the human being. So the data analysis is there. They can recognize the pattern much quicker. They can do automation part, tireless processing. They don't need a coffee break. They don't need anything around. So human has their own role around, and that's where we want the role to increase. And which are repetitive tasks, we want artificial intelligence to take over. So closing thoughts, if I say, as we conclude today's webinar, one message should be very clear. AI-powered procurement is not about replacing procurement professionals. That's not the purpose. It is to boost the intelligence of the people so they are able to do a better decision. It's about elevating the quality of procurement decision. Earlier, the data which we had was very limited. Now I can go much more to this supplier buys from where, from where the raw material come. I can see the whole chain actually. So the quality of decisions are much better. If I want the computers to help me to find the should cost part, it can help us to find the should cost also. So we have seen that successful AI adoption does not start with agents or automation. Again, it starts with people first. I mean, idea looks very good. Somebody says, oh, guys, okay, I should spend money. No. First thing is people. Your people have to learn it. This is where I was talking around that get the very first step should be the get ChatGPT or other ones, whichever available. They're not very high cost. So it starts with the people. People have to start using it in a day-to-day life. They feel comfortable. Yes, it makes sense to use it. Then we come to the clean data. The data has to be clean. And data cleaning can also be done with the help of ChatGPT, Gemini, whichever you want, Copilot, whichever system you get easily. So you can do the cleaning with their help and strong digital foundation. So then once you've done this, the next step would be that you have to build the digital foundation. And once you have built up the digital foundation, that is only possible once we go with the e-procurement, connect end to end. So until it is connected end to end, if they are in silos, the silos will not give us digital foundation. So this is where I would like to close on this one. With this, I want to thank you all for your patience. And lastly, if